Oh boy, a lot of news this week, a lot is going on due to the patch, due to the event, due to the discount, so we are going to cover all of this in today's video. I know a lot of people expected me to do this maybe a day earlier or even as soon as the event and the patch came out. However, I didn't want to rush things until the dust takes off and just wanted to settle in and think about everything before we bring any conclusion whatsoever. So we are going to start up with the shop discount. Okay, let's get through the items. Small lucky bag and package 3 days on discount for 3T points. Previously they were in July 40 points and in September as well 40 points, so I made here a chart for everybody so we can see all what were the former prices. Now this is a good buy personally for me because not everybody can straight away get to super lucky bag and super package, so this is their best way to compensate for the lack of gold until they get to this. So I would say if you can snatch this, get it, it's a good deal. Jackstraw, 5T points for 5, previously was in July 60 points, and if September we had no discount on it. It's a big pass, you can literally get 100 of the jackstraws for like, let's say maybe I don't know, maybe 200 gold or something like that. I don't know exactly what are the prices, but it's way better just to wait until somebody drops and buy a huge stack of them. Over here we got instant full healing and mana potions, which previously in July were 88 points and in September it was no discount on them. I would say it's a pass because you can get them from Charm Shop, I believe. Yeah, you can get them from Charm Shop, so literally no really reason to buy them from here unless you are willing to test your luck with reselling, which I would not recommend, but each to its own will. Occult berries for 23 T points. Previously they were constantly on 3 T points on discount, so the price is static. However, again, it's way cheaper to just buy from auction or from stalls. You end up losing way less gold than you buy it directly. Concentration pellet, also on 3T point discount. Previously they were also always on 3T point discount, so no change there. Similar deal with occult berries, you're just gonna get from many sources, so you can do quests, you can buy them from Charm Shop, you can exchange them for courage badges, you can get them from this Halloween event, which you're going to get plenty of, so yeah, pretty much no reason whatsoever to buy from shop. Okay, for the Aidance that is it. Now for the gems, Bright Emerald, 77 T points. Previous 2 times there was no discount. Debatable, like you can use it, of course, the discount. However, most of the people are going to always go for those caskets, as those caskets end up cheaper when there is no discount here. But in this case we will going to calculate if the price is cheaper, then buy 5 of from the chest. So it's let's see real quick, 77 times 5, 385. So as you can see, once again, it's cheaper to buy Bright Emerald chest than buy 5 of those. So do not make a mistake and buy individual one, because as you can see, 385 for 5 under discount versus 379 for 5 in a chest. So it's very much straightforward. Bright Ruby cheap, 53 T points. Previous times there was no discount in July, and in September it was also 53 3 points. I believe it's the same case that the Bright Ruby chest is going to end up cheaper even during this current discount, so do not sit on this just because it's a discount, but we are going to calculate it. So it's 53 times 5, 265 versus 266. Okay, so here we have a difference that you can say 1 T point if you buy single 5 rubies versus the chest. However, here it's better to buy Bright Emerald chest than buy Bright Emeralds as a singlets under a discount. So be mindful of that, don't make a mistake. Medium rubies and emeralds, I don't think I even need to mention this, like it's whatever, but we are just going to go through this. July on medium emeralds were discount to 12 T points, September didn't have a discount. Medium rubies had in July 80 points discount, and September had nothing. So here we can see that the discounts vary from the event to event, but do not ever buy this. Like literally, if there is even none on auction or stalls, just wait few hours and somebody will appear and sell them. So do not ever buy those, don't be ridiculous. And Sapphire is on 36 T point discount. Previously, both times in July and September was on 29 T points, so this is worse deal than previously. However, again, I've discussed before what's this item used for in my previous discount videos, so I'm not gonna go over it again. Personally, I would not buy it. I would much rather wait the discounts when it drops again to 29 T points, so this would be another pass. Inlay gems, this charm is always on 37 T points, so no reason to mention it. Default elite inlay gems for 22 T points each. I guess as well, no reason to mention, it's just ridiculous price. However, we are going to go, well, yeah, pretty much in July and September they were constantly on 22 T points, so we can conclude that the one static number under which their discount is going to be 22 T points always. But yeah, literally you can, if you are going to already buy them, you can buy them for like 300 gold for each versus 22 T points, which is like 5,000, so yeah, big no. And that's really it from inlays. Equipment, Meteor Iron, 235 T points currently. In July it didn't have a discount. In September it was 239 T points. So we can also see here that the price changes from event to event. So currently this is the best deal that they are on. However, I believe in December, when we get the New Year's event, they drop even to 225 T points. So if you are going to already plan to buy them, I would recommend maybe wait until December that they drop to 225, which is, I'm fairly certain that that's the amount they drop. But if you cannot wait, I guess this is the second best chance that you can buy them for, so do as you please. Soul Bell, I mean, 5 T points currently. Previously in July there were 40 points, and in September there were also 5 T points. So with Soul Bells you really can never go wrong. Like, as soon as they are on discount, grab them. Doesn't really matter whether it's 4 T points or 5. Of course it is going to matter in the long term if you buy larger amounts. However, who cannot wait a year or 10 months or how much ever it's going to take until they drop back down to 4, you might as well just grab them for 5 T points. It's still a good deal, and Soul Bells are just endlessly needed, so you can never go wrong with this. Lake Wave Rings and Daring Angel Amulets, previously they were constantly on 15 T-point discount, so no change there. Again, this is the best and the lowest that they go for, so if you need them, especially amulets, you might just grab them now. But overall, whenever the discount is, they are going to be properly discounted, so you don't really need too much worry there. Okay, so I like to call those 3 amulets a bot amulets, especially meteor amulets, because a lot of bots on early levels use it. They are for 149 T-points each. Previously, they went in July for 179 T-points each, and in September they were not on discount. So this is currently their best deal if you're going to buy them. Now, I would not recommend buying them from shop because you can find them on auction for like 9 to 10,000 gold, which is equal to a 50 T-points, maybe 45 T-points, like depending of the price of T-points per day. But overall, let's say they are on average on auction for 45 T-points. So why would you ever buy them for 149 when you can just snatch them for 3 times cheaper? Again, unless you cannot wait or you have extra resources to waste on, sure, grab them now because this is the best deal I think that they are going to be. But yeah, overall, just rather wait and find to buy for gold. Chests. We will have to go for this one individually. So the 40s set chests this time are for 199 T-points. In July they were not on discount, and in September they were for the same amount. I mean, I guess you can buy them, but theoretically there's really no point, because unless you're going to run bots, which we will discuss a little bit later what happened. But basically, I mean, it's an okay buy for what you get because they are unbound. However, if you are not caring for bots whatsoever, you can rather just collect it from Bewitcher Cave or buy them from Charm Shop, because the set is also available here, as you can see, for 79 T-points per part. So overall, I guess, unless you really want to run bots, I would pass on this set. But other than that, you can get it. 7 stars or the loose set is 399. Previously in July it was on 369, and in September there was no discount on them. So this is a worse deal than in July, so automatically by that I would say a big pass, unless really again you want to force the bots, which at this time it's going to be a little bit debatable, so I guess they are going to lose on the value. So yeah, generally I would not really consider buying this. Now for void chest or the PRS dodge sets, currently they are on 869. So in July they were 799, and in September they were 888. So another item that varies from event to event regards of the discount. So I would again say pass on this because the margin is quite decent between 799 and 869. So I would pass currently on this. Again, however, you can make the same case for all 3 if you are going to plan to run bots until a specific level. You might just buy them, but I would much rather wait that they go back down to their lowest, which is 799. And for the last item we have all-star rings, which are for 89 and 99 T-points respectively. They were constantly on the same number of discount, so there is no change there. They are just not useful anymore, like whatsoever. If you are going to already go for some rings like this, you might just better buy those Ring of Quiet, Ring of Rage and Ring of Smooth. So there's literally no point whatsoever to buy ever those. Plus, you can find them on auction for like 3 to 4,000 gold nowadays, because a lot of apps are trying to get rid of them now, as there's literally no use for them anymore, aside from, let's say, if you are just starting up and you want to have some decent starting gear, you might consider those to get, as they are 15 levels lower than those rings. So, but again, it's worth to wait 15 levels and buy those instead of wasting your resources on those rings. Personally, my opinion, but of course it won't suit to everybody. Pet wise, well, we have nothing literally on discount, which is a little bit shocking, aside from our standard Halloween event pets, which are pumpkin lantern and jack-o'-lantern. Now, the price 99 T-points is fine. However, there are two problems with those pets. Well, actually, technically there's three problems. Number one, they have move speed. Both, as you can see. Number two, both of them are 2 skill pets. And number three, you can get them from the Halloween event as bound pet. So, literally, unless you want them for their aesthetics, because let's be honest, they really look cool, like both jack-o'-lantern and pumpkin lantern. Aside from that, there is literally no reason whatsoever to get them. That's just my opinion. Again, collectors might think different, but each to its own. I would just pass on those, because if you get it bound from an event, like, there's literally no need to get them like this. Mounts. Okay, yeah, I forgot to mention that those pets are exclusive to a Halloween event only, so the duration of this discount, as well as the Halloween event itself, is going to be 3 weeks. So by the time this video is out, it's going to be 2 weeks left, so you have time to think about it, what you want to get from the shop and how much do you want to do the event. Mount wise, we have pandas on $3.99. Previously, pandas were on July, had no discount actually, and in September they were $4.49. So currently this is going to be their best discount. Is it worth getting them? No, because you can always get them, as I've said. I cannot stress this enough, and I repeat myself like a broken record. Get them combined. It's so much bigger save. If you are patient enough, even if they are not present on auction or a sale or stalls or anywhere, you can still wait and eventually some will appear. So there is no reason to rush to buy it. Kong 3K flat, I'm going to round it up. Previous discounts were also on 3K, so no change in any of the discounts whatsoever. Also another pass, if you are going to buy it already, you might just buy it for clean gold combined, because people sell it here and there, like maybe on average every 2 months one gets in rotation for a sale. So basically really no reason to buy it ever from the shop directly. Next up we got the 3 floaters, Greenway Forest and Lava Floater, and their standard T-point price is dropped equally now to $3.99. Previously they were not on discount on neither July or September, so basically this is their currently best discount. Same case can be made as for pandas, like literally just save gold, wait that some appear on sale and buy that way. Unless of course you're impatient, then wait for a discount and combine it yourself. But again, if you're going to do that, at least try to find a +7 one if you already can to find +12. So, and the Greenway floater lost on its value a lot as the introduction of saddle ruined water mounts, and as we know, Greenway floater was one of the original 6 water mounts. So yeah, its price really went down compared to those 3 floaters. Ox is on $8.88. in July it was also 888, but in September there was no discount on it. Not much to say, like it's even worse deal than those because I'm gonna give my opinion personally because Ox as a mount overall, it's so alright looking. But the problem it has, it's his head, like look at this. It's too much down, you cannot see its face. Like I get it that it's meant to be like a charging bull type of a mount. But if you cannot see its head, like what's the point? That's basically the selling point for most of the mounts, if you can see their head. Of course if they are animal type, like floaters don't have heads, which is the obvious. But I think you get where I'm going with this. Like, plus the price is really steep, so yeah, I would not even consider ever this to get. Next up we have a Lion King 888. Previously it was always for 888 on discount, so no change there. This is even worse because you have a source to get Lion King from a Alien Griffin treasure box. So a lot of people want to get a Griffin, and therefore they are going to open a ton of Lion Kings, and that by default is going to drop the price of Lion King way more than it's going to drop the price of Ox. So literally Lion King becomes like a standard mount with 30 speed, basically. Like literally this price is so irrelevant nowadays, and that's why this is even a worse deal than Ox if you're going to buy it from the shop, so please don't. We got also another new mount, Spirit Bead Lion, or as I call it, wannabe tiger, because this I personally don't like it. Like even the price is like just ridiculous, 1k T points for this, like no. Let me see if there is any in Stone City so you can see it for those that didn't found it, how it looks. Oh boy, there's a lot of mounts. Yeah, but basically price, again, once again, same cases for Lion King and Ox. It matches to 1k T points, which no, like here is an example of an Ox. You cannot literally see his head. All you can see is his nose piercing. That's really it. Like, look, horn blocks his eyes. His head is too much bent. Like, if his head was only a little bit more up, if you could see his face and his helmet, it would be a much better looking mount and maybe debatable for one to get it sometimes, but just because of this, it's really not worth. But speaking of the new mount, I don't think there is currently anybody with it. Yeah, there is none at the moment, but basically it's a flaming mess, as I would call it. I don't like it one bit. A lot of people ask me if I'm going to get it, like, just no, like, okay, we got one over here. So, look at this chaos, like, what is this piece of, like, cloak, or whatever this meant to be already, like, this is just, no, like, I don't understand how somebody can like this. Like, if you like this, you have really questionable taste for nice. Basically, I would not ever get it, so I would not recommend. Like, I get it, it's a shiny new thing, it's cool to try out, but aside from that, big no. Bighorn Goat, another case of ugly, recently new mount, currently on 449 T-point discount. In September there was no discount, and in July there was a mistake. If you go back to my first video that I published when the goat was released, it was on discount for 999 T-points. However, its original buy price was actually 489 T-points. So they have clearly done a mistake regards of this, and they've just let it be. So people a lot of them just rushed in and bought it for more expensive than they should, but it's case like for any other mount basically. So this is his current price for it goes to the cheapest. Still I would not get it, like, no, it's like I don't know really what's up with the GMs and adding those mounts lately. Like, the last good mounts personally for me, and a lot of people I believe will agree with me, were pandas 4 years ago, and ever since then we just kept getting worse and worse mounts. Like, I really don't understand. If you're going to add something, at least add something that generally people are going to like, that a lot of them will buy. Like, who's gonna buy this aside from few collectors and curious people? Like, nobody else. And this is how you are going to lose on the sales. So literally no point. I get it, you want to make it a big deal when you release the good looking mounts later, but you don't need to wait 4 years to add a new mount. Like, at least add one good new mount every 2 to 2.5 years. Like, it doesn't need to be so big gap. Like, it's just personally my opinion. Maybe I'm ranting here a little bit, but that's just how I feel. And we have a Halloween event exclusive pumpkin floater, which, as you can see, I'm currently riding. 390 points. Personally, for the price of it and how good looking mount is, I would say it's an okay deal. Once again, it's a little bit trickier because this is exclusive mount, so if people don't want to sell it, but I'm sure by now people are going to sell it because I've seen the pumpkins sell like so many times, and I bought mine myself. So it just takes a patience, few months maybe, and you will run into one to buy either plus 10 or plus 12 rather than buy from this. But again, I've had people ask me when is pumpkin coming, because they really couldn't find anybody to buy from, so they wanted to wait on a event. Well, here's your chance, so grab it before it's gone, because you have only 2 more weeks left to buy it. Cosmetic wise, we got mask pills one. Previously they were not on discount at all, so this is their current best discount. From those masks, I can speak for myself. Like, I don't like Assassin's mask pill, I don't like Fairy's mask pill. This is probably the one that I like the most of any, like, for any class. In total, like, this mask pill is the best one for me, but still I would not probably get it because I would not waste my 60 points on it. Fairy one is decent, but again, nothing special, honestly. Like, out of those 3, this one is the best, so you can consider that. Monk one, like, this bushy beard, no, like, absolutely not. Tamer one, I guess you could say this one is the best out of 3, but again, is it really worth 60 points? I don't think so. It literally, that does you nothing, so I would pass on that. And we have a Cosmetic Dragon discount, which is way better deal than any of those. However, you can those try to resell, and they are going to probably sell well. Currently, Cosmetic Drag is on 90 points. Previously, they were not on discount, nor in July, nor in September, so this is the best deal currently. I would say buy it. Like, you can get those from South Borderland, or you can get them from the Bound quest, which you get a one-time only quest from Immortal Lee. I think it unlocks on level 20 or something like that very early on. But yeah, overall I would say buy it if you cannot find any. It's alright deal. But yeah, other way to get it is from South Borderland, so you have a ways to maybe wait for a cheaper, but if you cannot wait and you want to change your facial, you can. And from the special for the last item, I believe, is Dragon King treasure box on 272 T points. July had no discount and September had equal discount. Personally for me, this is horrible box for a few reasons. The amount you invest into buying all those stuff and opening them, you are going to end up in a huge loss for like 60 to 70%, and nobody is guaranteeing you that you're going to get Tele Dragon, because that's literally a selling point of this box, let's be honest. So aside from that, if you are really hunting for it, do not buy ever this, because on a first or second try, if you're trying to make some gold out of it, you are probably not going to make it. Just to put it easily like that. If you are going to try already a box with a minimal loss, at least go for Alien Griffin treasure box, because this box, when you, in case if you don't get a Griffin, and when you sell everything back, you are going to end up only in a loss to 10 to 15% of how much you've invested into it. This one is way worse, because if you look at this, residual shadows are contained in the Alien Griffin treasure box. However, in Fantasy Pegasus box, instead of residuals, you get 2 large rubies. So now you can compare the price of 70 residuals versus 2 large rubies. Like, I don't need to even explain how much this box is worse than this. And for the end, we have a Trick or Treat, which contains 70 Evil Hell prints and 1 Halloween candy. So for those of you that complained and whined of the removal for Evil Hell prints, here's your Evil Hell prints. Is it worse deal than it was before? 28 T points for 10 of them versus here you get 70 for 300. Yeah, it's worse deal. However, you need to keep in mind that from this you also get a Halloween candy, and Halloween candy contains a Fairyland token. Now, a lot of people don't know what a Fairyland token is or what it serves for. It's literally for a sapphire bird. So you need 100 those tokens to get a sapphire bird. So basically you need to buy 100 of those Trick or Treat boxes to open one. Way better deal is just buy from people in general, because there's going to be always somebody that's going to buy Evil Hell prints. And I know a lot of people that do buy them. Basically, they don't care what the price is, they just either way discount, or if there is no discount in rotation for quite some time, they're just going to buy it. So yeah, for those of you, there is a chance once again to snap Evil Hell prints, so literally you have really no way to complain now. Is it a big of a gap until this package comes around? Yeah, it's about 11 months, but it's supposed to be balanced, so in that regards I understand. So you have it flexible here. If you want to get it, here's your chance. You have 2 more weeks of the event, so go for it. And that is going to conclude the part for the discounts. Now let's get to the event. Here we get 2 NPCs every year for the Halloween event, which is basically to collect the cheap letters from the caves and outside mobs in such cases. So you have small letters and you have a big letters. I'm going to take both quests because I need to do it for today as well. So let's open it. Cheap tea. A lot of people don't even know where to get this, but I'm sure most of you figured out. You buy it at this little guy, young monk NPC next to it. As you can see, cheap tea. So if I buy it, it loads up and it's completed. Basically this is straightforward. So this is a Lotus Cave last boss, Tide Cave last boss, Snake Cave last boss, Rattan Cave last boss, Happiness Hall last boss, and these 2 are outside level 29 mobs. So this is pretty much straightforward quest. Now also what I like to do is, while I'm doing the Soul of Snake Mountain quest, as it requires the Snake Cave last boss, I also grab the Courage Badge quest for Snake Cave last boss. Also, because it requires a quest of Guard of Ways village, I also take a quest of Fight for Justice. As you can see, this quest requires 50 of Guard of Ways village, and before you drop this one chip, it's going to take you to kill at least 15 to 20 mobs on average. Sometimes you may drop it on a first go, but it's no guarantee ever. So I'm going to show you where the quest is, where you can take it. It's not a lot of energy nor experience. Well, actually on max level you don't even need experience, but it's something on the way, let's say, to take it. So it's basically this NPC Sun Nun, actually, excuse me. So here you can take it, and over the duration of the event you might complete it once or twice, most likely once. So yeah, it's handy to take it. Okay, for the second quest, Cheap Tea. Cheap Tea, a lot of people even more don't know than this small Cheap Tea where it is, because it does not show the location. However, if we teleport to Moondragon Village, it is in Silver Fox Cave at the first boss, Divine Silver Fox. So it's very easy to figure out. You just have to teleport into Moondragon Village and you will see where it is. As far as the rest of the letters, also they are straightforward, like the previous quest. Fireboar, third boss in Fantasy Palace. Blue Fire Skeleton Beast, third boss, or fourth boss actually, in Bewitcher Cave. Hollow, also another thing, I also like to take together the Hollow quest for the residual shadows while I do this, so basically I don't waste going an extra time for no reason while the quest is still active. Bright Crystal Killer, also this is the blue twin in Seven Star stage, and those three are the elites outside of caves. This one is in Ghost in Woods, and those are in Clearwater Dam. Now, regards of some of those, let's say for example Snake Cave, you can always check if the doors are unlocked or not, so you don't need to go around all the way to the second boss and kill it, because sometimes the gates can be straight up opened to the last boss, so you don't need to waste so much time. Same case is for the Fireboar, because also gates sometimes get unlocked, so you don't need to go back to Virulent Spider and Ice Banshee to kill them. And I think there is no more cases like that during this quest. Yeah, basically that's it. This quest, Remake the Totem, becomes unlocked on level 30, and this quest, Nanmu Herald's second quest for the big letters, becomes unlocked on level 61. So if you see that you don't have one of those two quests unlocked, that is the reason, because they are capped from the level restriction in both ways. As for the rewards, first one gives concentration pellets, some Courage badges, and anniversary gift bag. This one is basically straightforward reward for a, how would I say it, for the beginners, I guess. This is decent reward. Courage badges are useful even for the big players, because they farm Courage badges for the soul bells, so if you get extra 5 or 15, if you, in case you take this quest as well, there is literally nothing bad that can happen. And as for the secondary quest, which a lot of people actually do want to work, is 5 bloodstained chips and one advanced coral pill. Now, main reason why they do it is for the advanced coral pill. So, as you can see, it's pretty decent buff, very versatile. It gives 4 basic stats, maximum HP of 1000 and 10% increased speed. And the best part of it is it lasts 4 hours, so you can never go wrong if you are going to do it just alone for this. Bloodstain chips, you get 5 of them, even though the quest says it gives 1, but you get actually 5, so basically over the span of 2 days you can exchange those 10 for 1 justice badge, and you can make some extra gold out of it, because almost every single content out of this event is going to be bound. And also both quests give anniversary gift bags. So the potential rewards into this are, as you can see, the main reward is going to be bound, the mount pumpkin floater, and you also get a strange pumpkin, which is a exchange to get either bound mana pumpkin pet or a held pumpkin pet. So you have there, because I had a lot of people ask me, like, from where do you get strange pumpkin? It's random chance, like, it's not a guarantee, and it's small chance to get it, but it's possible. I've gotten it, I believe last year. I've gotten one strange pumpkin. Let me find it. Strange pumpkin. Yeah, as you can see, jack-o'-lantern. Basically, when you get strange pumpkin, you have a choice of which pet do you want to choose. So yeah, that's where you get it. Also, you can get Evil Hell Prince bound, Vivid Spells, Courage badges, or other stuff. And one of those other stuff, I believe, if I can remember, is I'm going to go through my warehouse, because that's where I keep everything from the event. So basically the rewards are going to be, of course, as we mentioned, the pets bound. You can get a chance to open a unbound titanium stone, so that is only reward that is not bound in this event that you can open. You can also open a large ruby from this event, which, once again, very small chance, very random, but it's possible to open. You also open a bunch of Numen grasses, so great stuff for leveling your pets. You open a bunch of vivid spells, again, decent reward, especially for new players that want to push their levels real hard. Advanced Coral Pill is a standard certain reward from it. And you get a bunch of those meta pumpkin scrolls, because I believe they have the highest chance to drop out of all of this. And of course, you can open bound Evil Hell Prince. So once again, there is a way to get Evil Hell Prince. It's just a little bit more restricted. It's not as accessible as before, so there was literally no need for whining that we previously had. And of course, you get a bunch of those, and those are once again a standard certain rewards. Now, speaking of the main reward, pumpkin floater bound, as I mentioned, on average per one server, in general, total is being opened 2 to 3 bound mounts over the duration of event per one server. So it's very hard to open it, but when you do, it's really good deal, because you literally got a mount for free. And you are going to need a lot of mounts now, especially for all those new saddle skills, which you are going to touch in a second. So basically that is going to conclude overall the event review. Really good event, a little bit annoying, not gonna lie, because you have a lot of running to this cave, that cave. It wastes you a lot of time. There's a lot of people that pay other people to do the event for them because they just can't bother running around hour and a half or 2 hours or how many ever time it already takes you to complete it. So yeah, I understand it's a bit annoying, but rewards are, I would say, slightly over alright than they usually would. So it's worth the event of doing. Like, some people say it's not worth it, but realistically, when you think of it, overall, it's, I would say, about 65% good event. Okay, we are now left to cover only the patch update. Oh boy. This one is going to trigger a lot of discussion. Basically, where to start from? Major two things. The egg that you get from level 1 has moved its levels when you can open it from, let's say, level 65 to 75, which is now from on level 70 and level 80. But that in itself is not that big of a deal, as more big of a deal is all the gems from the egg are now bound, which means no more large rubies, no more large emeralds for free. Basically, when you open them bound, and they are literally stuck on that character. This move by GMs resulted that we no longer on, especially our server, Light in Darkness, have no longer queue, which is a great thing. And while some may think it's horrible for the botters and free-to-play players, sure, it is bad, but it's not as bad as everybody thinks, because I'm going to explain why. Okay, so basically, from the egg, previously you were guaranteed 2 large rubies and 1 large emerald, if you push to level 75, of course. Thing with large emeralds, we're going to cover them first, is you need large emeralds only for 3 things. 2 of the weapons and the mount. In most of the cases, people are going to buy a finished mount, so already at the very least plus 10. So basically that shuts down 1 need less. And for weapons, you can make a case that not everybody, at least 50% of players, are not going to do both weapons because they just can't afford it at once. So it's going to take them a little bit while until they get both weapons. So with that, you basically stay with only 1 need for a large emeralds. Now, what you need to keep in mind is that large emeralds are never going to be in a higher demand than the requirement for them it is to be. Because the limitation of their need is so small, if we put it to the slightest need, you only are going to need it for a 1 weapon to build, because a lot of people are going to build, at the very least, people build their weapons by themselves alone because there's a lot of screwed up points and they just don't wanna bother with it. So we go over the auction now and see for how many there is in total. Let's see, 1 second. So 31 is currently sitting on auction. I can bet you that at this moment there is no need from anybody that is going to spend 31 large emerald at once. So what I'm saying is there is never going to be a higher demand of large emeralds than it's going to be required for their spending. So we are going to always have a luxury of extra large emeralds sitting on auction and they are not going to sell. So the emeralds are not a problem whatsoever. Plus, there are ways to get emeralds anyways. You can get them from opening hell prints on Saturdays, especially on Saturdays, because you lose a chance if you open it on regular days. As well, bots themselves, like in average, you are going to drop at least 2 to 3 larges or titaniums, because let's say we are going to put in titaniums, but titaniums were always bound in the egg. Well, at least for the last few years, there was a slight period of time when they were unbound as well. So basically, large emeralds are not a problem. Large rubies, however, you can make a case that they might be a slightly bit of a problem, because guarantee from egg was 2 rubies on 1 emerald. So therefore, you can already see there a difference. Also, rubies are needed way more. So basically, you need them for your entire set. And you're going to need them for the multiple sets as sets keep coming out. So rubies are going to be always in a way higher demand to be consumed. So let's say we go now, currently on auction, 105. Like, let's be realistic now. Is there at least, let's say that on average every person spends 5 rubies? Is there 20 people right now, like very this moment, that is going to need a 105 large rubies in total? No. There's maybe going to be 5 or 6, and those 5 or 6 already have their own stacked that they keep as they drop them or as they get them, because I myself, whenever I get large rubies, at least lately, I keep them for myself. I don't sell them anymore because I do have still a lot of stuff to combine. So basically that saves me some time of finding the cheap ones when I can just keep them here. Also, the same case could be said, like, I understand that rubies are way more in demand. However, as I mentioned, you have ways still to get them. Bots are still going to drop you decent amount if you keep botting until certain level that you alone decide when it's going to be. Also, you can open them from hell prints, basically, which everybody does nowadays, so there is no excuse there. Also, you can get them from the war boxes and from South Borderland. Now, you can make a case, I guess, for the war boxes that not everybody can access to them, as such as myself, because I'm not involved in a guild wars or any of that activity. However, for South Borderland, it's a entry free. I guess I could call it a cave, but it's technically not a cave because everybody can enter and there is no limit how many people can enter. So basically, you still have ways to get rubies regardless of this. Now, did this hinder a little bit free-to-plays? Yes, it did. Same as the Evil Hell Prince hindered them in a way to restricting availability of mecha parts and cheap mounts as Caldara and the Dinobot. But you still have a ways to get rubies. Like, let's say if you're completely finished with your amulets and rings, you can always get them for 5 hero badges here. So there is no need to whine and complain, because it's all about adapting at the current state of the game and use the most of what you have accessible at that time, or as we speak, at this time. So what I'm trying to say is adapt to current situation and use the most out of it, because whining and complaining will get you nowhere, and you're just going to waste your time and motivation, and it's going to lead you nowhere. So I hope that is a little bit cleared out, as there is really no need. Like, I've seen first 2 to 3 days, like, I literally wanted to turn on the live stream and just let the world chat play, how much of a discussion and whining and complaining it was. But in reality, what a lot of people still don't know, that's because there's only a fraction of all players, is that they have done the exact same thing in 2012. They've made every single content out of the egg bound. and they ran it as such for an entire year, and the game was just fine. Now, back then, why the reason of why they did it is because they were dropping out the GMs, they were dropping out the penalties for a botting, so there was no longer bans. So they tried to balance out, like, let's say, introduce it like a new way of being restrictive towards that. However, eventually we know what happened. They introduced strings, they allowed botting, and stuff went just uncontrollably for the worse. So, I hope you understand that there is no point to complain about this. Bots, you can still keep on botting. Bots will still keep dropping you stuff, probably on average 2 to 3 gems, which is going to be in the most cases more than a guarantee you would have from an egg. If, let's say, like most people pushed anyways their bots to level 65, like maybe total of amount of bots, maybe only 30% of them push them to level 75. And comparison of getting only one larger ruby versus an extra large ruby and a large emerald is quite big margin. So the difference is not as big as you may think it is. Now, of course, a lot of people didn't like it and they gave up with botting, which resulted in no longer we are having a queue. So again, there are ways to get it, and once again, people are going to bot regardless. Like, let's just get that straight out of the way. If the nothing, at the very least, they are going to bot them for the help prints, for which you need level 60 to reach. So even with that, you still have a goal and a reason why you should bot, and from that alone you can still drop gems. So did the price jump? Yes, I'm not gonna lie. On our server, price jumped for rubies from 3.2 to, I believe, like 5k or 4.9. I'm not sure now. Let's see. Yeah, 4.5, like, price jumped. Same for the emeralds. Emeralds were all the way down to 4.7k. Now they are to 7k. Personally, I think it's a good thing that they jumped in price, because that means they will value more. So the sellers of those gems are going to make way more gold, and it's going to benefit, and their drop is going to be valued way more than it was previously. And for the last thing to discuss, we got a saddle skill. Faraway riding. Oh boy. I'm sure some of you saw my shorts video that I published a few days ago, where the damage went insane and how much this is broken. So yeah, it was more of like a hype short to keep you up for this video, but I'm going to explain like the reasoning and what actually happened in that short. So if we open saddle, we can see a new skill, faraway riding. Use it on single player, it reduces 2000 points of tenacity on the target and lasts 45 seconds. Needs to put 4, not 3 mounts of plus 12 in the saddle to activate the skill. So, oh boy, where to start from this? First of all, tenacity is obduracy. So if you can remember, from the friendship buff, it also, you get on a friendship 4, you get a, let me see if I have here somebody level 8, like, let's say my stall character. It's going to, here it describes as a strength, but it's actually obduracy, and when you read a buff, it's going to read as a tenacity. And tenacity is basically obduracy, but that's due to the game masters horribly translating it, or for whatever reason, I don't know why they didn't put just obduracy so that people don't confuse it. It's some mechanic that doesn't work, but it's basically obduracy. So a lot of people will not be able to access this buff because it requires 4 mounts to unlock it plus 12. As you can see, I'm fortunate enough to have enough mounts for myself to unlock this skill. And description is bad, like 3-4 mounts, like it's whether either it's 3 mounts or it's 4 mounts. Like, please GMs, fix the description, it's so confusing. Duration 45 seconds. Oh boy, this is lasting for an entire duel, basically, because most of the duels last under a minute, and 45 seconds in most cases is basically entire duration of a duel. So whales are already jumped on this, like they already unlocked it. This only works on characters, so it does not work in caves or on mobs or on bosses. For that we have a break soul. So basically this is a character version of a break soul, to put it slightly and simple. Now the numbers. 2000 points of obduracy. This is large amount, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I myself don't duel, but from the testing I did with a Ding Yin, big thanks to him, he became lately my partner in crime regards of testing. 2000 is just enormous amount. Like, if we look at myself, 3.3k is only full Mystic Obduracy. As you can see, I'm full Mystic Obduracy. Yeah, so this alone are going to kill full Super Obduracy players, because Super Obduracy is like, I believe, 1875 of resistance, and this debuff takes away 2k, so basically you need at the very least 5 Super Obduracies and 1 Mystic to not go minus with the stat under this debuff, because it evens out total to 2085 that way. What else to say? I mean, this needs a nerf. Like, the main nerf, I guess, what I would do is to decrease the duration time from 45 seconds to at least 30 seconds, because 45 seconds is just, it doesn't even get you to time it when you want to use, because you just can use it at the start of the duel and it's going to last you for the entire duration of duel, and that's basically what you are going to do. Now, are there ways to counter it? To a degree, yes, and I'm going to explain here why and how. Let me just open the folder. So basically the testing I did, so this was my burst damage, normal burst damage, without the debuff being applied. As you can see, standard crit of 13.6. And this one that you saw in a short was a 19.4 crit of burst damage under a debuff. So basically, the 2k defense, well, obduracy technically, drop off makes this big of a difference. Like, this is like almost 40-45% of damage increase, which is, I would say, absurdly high. Of course, this was tested without any obduracies on, like both of those cases. Like, there was none of the obduracy, nor here on Dulcea, nor here, so you need to keep that in mind. Also, what I've noticed is that the crit mortal will do you less damage under the debuff compared to the clean crit under the debuff. Now, what I mean by this, mortal is not influenced at all by the obduracy. Basically, mortal ignores the obduracy completely. So if you have 0 obduracy, it is going to ignore it as 0 obduracy. However, debuff is going to put you in minus stat. It's not going to stop on 0. It's going to put you, as you can see here, minus 2000 if you have none of the obduracy inlays on. Basically, this is a meme. But yeah, the drop off here is basically 87.52%, I believe, under this number. So what does that mean, and why didn't it go down all the way to 100%? Basically, this I got also data mined. Every class has a default of 10 to 13% of magic obduracy and 30% of physical obduracy. This is why a lot of the cases when the mobs, let's say in caves, crit, they will not crit double the damage from the damage that they regularly do on the normal hits. And that is a cause why, because the obduracy is contained even without any of the inlay gems. So you need to be aware of that. So every class as a default has 10 to 13% of magic obduracy and 30% of physical obduracy. So way to counter is this buff, because debuff, let's say, is, well, of course, not everybody are going to have it accessible to 4 mounts. So the way to counter it is to be in a team when you duel with a friendship level 8. Because as we can see here, it gives 760 tenacious points. One thing you need to pay attention to when you read the buff is that numbers from the buff itself and the amount that it actually gives is not correct. So case in point here, and I've taken an example. Full super obduracy is going to give you 1788 of obduracy. With friendship buff, as we can see, we get 2812. So friendship buff level 8 is going to give you an extra 1024 obduracies, while the number on a buff itself, it says that it gives 760. So do not ever watch into those numbers that say on buff. They are incorrect. The actual number you have to see for yourself, because as you can see here, they are not correct, and you have to calculate them by themselves. So if you don't have the debuff accessible to you right now, you can counter it, as I've mentioned, with a friendship buff level 8. That will be the best way that you can do if you are facing somebody that has a debuff on. And trust me, people are going to, who have it accessible, they're not going to waste 1 second to use it on you. So that is a way to counter it. So basically, it salvages you to about 51 to 52% in total. Is it enough? I guess it's enough that you don't go in a too great of a minus, because if you do, as we can see here from the screenshot, yeah, it's not good. Like, the numbers are just absurd. You basically do way more damage under the debuff than you would do with critical mortal, and that's just, I guess, maybe to a degree nerf to a mortal, but not really, because again, as I mentioned, not everybody are going to have access to 4 mounts plus 12. So what people are doing now is they are buying 3 more Divine Tigers plus 12, because the Divine Tiger is basically the cheapest mount that you can get, and they are building them left and right, at least some of them. Some others are just finding mounts whichever they can get their hands on, just to have it unlocked. So, and most likely we are going to have a requirement to fill out even those 2 slots, which most likely are going to be, like, I've predicted this already, that the last skill is going to be a dual mounting. Of course, it can be changed because GMs can put something else if they choose to, but I believe, I'm pretty certain that by now this last skill that awaits us is going to be dual mounting. So yeah, basically cheapest route you can go, find 3 divine tigers plus 12 and to unlock this. If you cannot build friendship to level 8, to counter it, as that's the best chance that you are going to get with it. So yeah. Oh wow. Ooh, this was a long one. Now most likely this video is going to be like an hour long or something like that. You will see, like once I edit it, I'll try to chop out as much as possible to make it easier for you to watch. But yeah, there was just a lot to talk about and go through, so yeah. Okay, for the end, I would like to thank everybody. We pushed finally over 100 subscribers. Currently we are on 106. So big thanks to everybody. Let's keep the pushing numbers up, as I've seen that only 30% of you are subscribed from my total amount of viewers. So guys and girls, of course, because we have some girls here on the server, feel free to subscribe. Like, to you it doesn't mean anything, to me it may mean a lot down the line. So keep giving me a support and I'll keep giving you the best possible content that I have to pull out of this game. And with that being said, hopefully you don't hate me for this long video, and until the next time, have a good one.